Hi everyone, I'm Kay of Kay's Creative Home. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be putting together a custom wreath for a friend who needs something for her door for fall. Her door is a bright cherry red and we had to find something that would complement that. And you know, some of the fall colors can have those oranges in it and they may not blend as well if it's not the right shade of orange. So I searched through my stash and found some things that I think will work. So to make my swag, I'm going to be using these pine bushes. Okay, and this is a greenery branch and it has a couple pine cones in it and they have a little bit of bronze on there, so I'm going to bring in some more bronze color. So then I have this pick, which you see is all bronze and it's got a pine tree shape. Then I have an entire bag here of pine cones. So we're going to play around with this ribbon and I might try to see if I have a few more picks to go in here to bring a little more color, but we'll see what we come up with. So the ribbon I have is this Dollar Tree ribbon that has the truck on it. Then I have, I think this is a Michaels ribbon that probably got on sale. Oh lordy, and that light is not giving you anything. I guess it's better back here. And I can zoom in with the camera later just let you see what that looks like. But it's got some deep color, like fall colors, the deep burgundy red, golds, and even has a little bit of teal blue. I'm probably going to work with that or this, and this is the sunflower ribbon from Sam's Club, a neutral ribbon. And then I also have this fall green ribbon from Dollar Tree. So we'll play around with a few of these and see what we come up with for our bow. So the first thing I want to do is to shape my greenery, and I have these two pine picks. So I'm going to shape it so that, excuse me, the stems are sticking up and sticking out toward you as you look at them, because when it's hanging on the door you want some of the wreath to come toward you. So I'm got those fluffed up, and now I'm going to take this other green pick and just fluff it up a little bit so that it's not, you know, just all mashed down together. And of course, as you're making your wreath, you're going to continue to shape it more. So now what I want to do is take the two pine picks and put them together here on side by side. That's going to be the fuller part of my swag, and kind of intermixing the stems so that they look like one piece. And then I've laid the other greenery on here, and that has the stronger stem at the bottom. So I'm going to use that, take the bottom pieces of the pine picks and just wrap it around that strong stem. It's a nice strong brown stem there. So I'm wrapping those around there, and then I'm taking a zip tie and putting it around there, and I'm going to do that in a few places, get that nice and tight. And you don't have to worry about it being on the stem because that'll eventually get covered by the bow I'm going to add there. And then in between here, I'm just doing it again, zip tying it a few places. And I'm going to use the branches to cover my zip ties. If you're concerned, you can get green zip ties or black zip ties. I haven't seen brown, but I know you can get the green and black, and they'll probably hide a little better. But since I'm going to be putting pine cones and things in this swag, you will not see these zip ties. Yes, I'm still loving my zip tie gun. So the next thing I want to do here is to take the cut some pieces of floral wire, and I'm going to use that to wrap around my pine cones. And I think I cut these at about 18 inches. That was a little long for the size pine cones I have here, but you know, you can kind of try a piece, and then too long, too short, you can adjust it. So you see I just wrapped it around, got it in between those, I don't even know what you call them, the bits of the pine cone. And then I took the end and just twisted it to the longer piece there. So that I have one piece of wire coming out, and I'm going to just feed that wire through the through my swag and attach them. So I did that to I think 7 or 8 of the pine cones, and I chose one red pine cone that I had too. So these are picks I got from Dollar Tree. You can see it's an opportunity for me to bring the greenery, the pine greenery up into that other greenery. So it continues up there. Even though it's different from the bottom, it's still a pine look. So that has a little bit of that gold or bronzy color on it and glitter. So that's another reason I wanted to add it in at the top. Just keep bringing that color too. So I'm going to do like a triangle shape here. You see I put one on one side, one on this side now. And then I'm going to put one up there at that top center. And when you're doing floral designs, a lot of things are done, well, at least I was taught that way, to do things in triangle or diamond shapes, because that's kind of how you find things in nature. So now you can see how it's coming together. I did not put any of those little pine stems at the bottom. I may do some more later. So, well, maybe I'm doing it now. I forgot. I thought I put them in later. But you can see now, again, I'm going side to side and then one toward the bottom there. And so I'll get those glued in too. And then we'll be ready to move on to the next thing. So if you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with others. And if you're not a family member, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll be notified every time a new video is released. I keep saying this is going to be my last fall wreath or swag video, and it seems like I keep coming back with another fall one. So this one is kind of, it could go both ways. You could use it for fall or Christmas, but because I'm going to add a fall ribbon to it, that's going to make it clearly identify as fall. All right, let me finish getting this last piece where I want it. Yep, I think I found where it will kind of sit up and be visible, and then I'll be ready to move on. So I've already cut my bronze pine into smaller pieces, and so I'm starting to just play with that, trying to see where I want them to go. And you know, you want to do this initially before you just start gluing them in. And a lot of the pieces I did were just too big, so I go back and cut them into smaller pieces, and you'll see that later. I'll have a lot more smaller ones. And I think this is where I realized these are just too big. Yeah, it just kind of overwhelmed the swag. And anytime that happens, you know, you have that option to go back and just trim them down some more or to use them differently. That's one of the beauties of creating something. You can always go back and change it. So here I am now, ready to add some glue. And again, you'll notice as I'm adding them to the swag that you will see me do these kind of a triangle arrangement. So there's one that's kind of like my top and center. And then you'll see the next one is over to one side, like it's the bottom corner of your triangle. Yep. And they're not just all on top. Some of them are hidden into the swag, so you kind of get these layers. So it's not like standing out at you, but the color will come through. Yeah, and I'm using my little tool that I use from Dollar Tree to hold that in place a minute so it can glue down. And then I'm grabbing one for the other side as if it were the other corner of my triangle. And you'll see how that's going on that side. And if you look at all three of those together, we've got that triangle shape. Alright, so now I'm going to do kind of the same thing on the bottom end. And then we'll be ready for the next step. So now I'm ready to start adding my pine cones, and I only have one red one that I'm going to use in this swag. So I wanted to make sure it was front and center. So I placed it where I want it to sit, and I'm taking the wire that I'm using to attach it. I'm feeding it through, and it took me a minute to get that wire through there. That's I think that's 26 or 28 gauge wire. It's a thinner one. So it was kind of folding as I was trying to push it through, but I finally found it and pulled it on through. And now all I'm doing with each wire is just finding a stem, and I'm just wrapping it round and round and round a few times to make sure it's good and tight. And that just takes a minute. But I'm going to do that over and over again with each pine cone. And I'm just going to scatter them throughout this swag and fill in empty spaces or kind of cluster them so they'll have a nice clustered look and they'll be nice and visible in the swag. All right, let me get that done. Be right back. So the next thing I'm doing is to make my bow, and I'm holding the wreath against it. I'm sorry, the swag, to see how wide I want the loops to be, and I'm going to do my normal 6-inch loops. So I started off with taking a really long piece of ribbon to make the tail. I think it was about 18 inches, I believe. It might be a little longer because I was just, pulling off some ribbon. I wanted to make sure it went the length of the swag and also have some length to tuck into the swag if I needed. So doing my normal bow here, I'm going to do 4 loops where I bring it in, then I fold it over, make my loop, and twist, and then go to the other side and make my loop. So here I am again, making that 3rd loop, doing a twist, so that I have the top of the right side of the ribbon facing up. And then I'm pulling off some extra there for the tail. And again, these first loops started at 6 inches, so it'll be nice and full. And then you're going to see I'm going to jump ahead, and I have placed on my last 2 ribbons, and then I was about to add my red truck and decided I did not like that with these 2 ribbons. So I'm actually going to take the former bows off and redo them so that the printed one will be on top, because at first I thought the truck would be on top, but since it's not, I'm going to take these 2 off and redo them. And I could have just pulled them out and put them back on, but I wanted to make sure that they gradually got the loops got a little smaller, and since they were in a different order before, it wouldn't have been right. So at any rate, now these loops are at 5.5 inches, so I'm still going to do 4 loops each, and then I'll have that long tail hanging off on the end. I had a time with this bow because first it was like I didn't have them in the order I wanted because I didn't use the truck, and then when I came back, it's like, wait a minute, this ribbon's on backwards. Right here I realized that this ribbon is on backwards. I'm like, good grief, come on. So start again. Right side up, do your twist, bring that down, make your loop, and do your twist. I mean, how hard can this be? So just so you know, you're not the only one who has problems with your bows. We all have to really take our time and make sure we're doing it correctly, especially with this ribbon. You know, it's hard to tell one side from the other. So I caught it because of the edges and realized, I'm not doing this right. So it's really easy to just take it up, do it again. All right, so I got that one on, and now I'm going to do my printed ribbon, and I guess you can see it a little better now. When I first was showing it to you at the beginning of the video, it got a little washed out. I really like this ribbon. I love the colors. I love the floral and leaf print, and colors in it are just beautiful for fall. I might use this ribbon for my own wreath for my front door this year. Yeah, I still have my summer wreath up. Haven't gone out there to take it down, but hope to get all of that done this weekend. We've had a lot of rain, and I haven't gotten much of my outdoor things done, so I got some catching up to do this weekend. So anyway, I am getting that last of that bow right, and I'm grabbing my zip tie so I can lift this bow up off of my bow maker. So you know how it goes. I'm not one who puts the zip tie down first. I always slide it under there afterwards, and I bring it together, and then I'm gonna not just do it snug but not tight, so that I have room to move that zip tie completely to the center. And now I'm going to run one underneath, and I actually go back and run another one underneath. And the reason is I want to have one to wrap around the stem of my swag, and then I want one to actually use to hang the swag to your door. So I'm playing around with the bow, making sure it's fluffed out as I would want it once I tighten my zip ties. If you fluff it first, it just makes it a lot easier to get things exactly where you want them. And I like to space things out so that you can see each and every loop of my bow. So I'm doing that, and now I think I'm going to tighten it. And this is where I'm like, oh shoot, I need another zip tie. So I go sliding that one under there slowly but surely, and then I'll have, like I said, that extra one to actually use to hang the swag. I could have probably put it around the whole bow again, or used it just making some kind of loop through the back of my swag, but I wanted it all together. So I'm adding this to my swag. I'm going to get this tied around here, and you'll see here, this is where I've got one that I'm tightening around the stem, and then I got one I'm going to put together but leave it really loose so that you can hang the swag with that loop. And this is where you can't use the zip tie gun, because if you do, it will just pull it and pull it and pull it until it's completely tightened, and I wanted that first one to remain loose so I could use it as a loop to hang the swag. Also, this is where you saw me turning that zip tie a little bit so that the closure end is up underneath of the stem, so that when you hang it, it won't be scratching your door. So next thing I'm going to do is continue to shape my bow again and make it nice and fluffy, just like we like them. And then I'm going to kind of loop the tails into the swag. And I started by pinching all three pieces on one side together, and then tucking it in and kind of looping out the ribbon, as you'll see me doing. And that's how I kind of play with it on this side and on the other side. And I think at some point I go back and just loosen it up again and attach the different ribbons at different places. But you know, this part is up to you. You play with it, you bring the ribbon in and out of the swag, and just make it like you want it. And then in the end, I also cut another tail of ribbon that's probably about 12 inches long again, and add it at the very bottom because I want to bring that color into the very point of the swag. Okay, let's get that done, and I'll be right back. So while I'm working on this, again, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it. That's what really helps our channel to grow. And if you're not a family member, come on, join in the fun. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified when I release new videos. I am working in a crazy situation right now, doing some work in my home still, and you'll see everything is covered in plastic just to make sure no dust travels out here. The work is going on in another area, but don't want any dust traveling out here and getting on things. Even my things that are packaged is like, I don't feel like dusting all that stuff off. So you see everything behind me is covered, and hopefully within the next few weeks, oh, this area will look completely different. I'll have things uncovered and I'll be able to create my little backdrop. So I'll really look like I'm in a craft room. My goodness. And it'll look a lot cuter, be a nicer atmosphere, and so on and so forth. So here's the part where I decided to add a little bit of a tail to the bottom. I actually cut the ribbon too long, so I ended up cutting it in half again. And you'll see me do that in a second. First I was trying the full length and I was like, oh god, that's way too much ribbon. So take my little scissors here, cut it in half, and now do that fish-tailed ends. And I did that with the other ribbons too. Still using my little zip ties. I have some really thin ones and I'm attaching that, and it pulls it so tight that you just never see these zip ties from the front. So I got that in here. And here's what we're looking like. And now you can really see that ribbon. I got to figure out why I had that glare in the beginning, because I don't want that to keep happening. I'm trying to bring you all the best quality that I can do. I'm not a professional, but I'm still going to work on making it as nice as possible. And here I go again, changing something. I'm one of those people, I kind of go back and forth. I was trying to balance it a little bit with the ribbon on the other side. And you see I probably moved it over an inch, but that inch makes it makes a difference to me. So I'm going to zip tie it again and get that completed, and then we'll be ready to share you a few pictures of what this swag looks like. All right, so I thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll be talking with you again real soon.